Welcome guys to a brand new another installment for the week, hosted by LC Screen Talk. Of course, you can find his channel down below, but he got a bunch of us together. If you guys haven't caught up on my other videos, this is the top 5 week for Game of Thrones since the season finale for season 7 comes out this Sunday, and we're all really excited to talk about it. So here is my ranking. Today's ranking is going to be the top 5 shocking moments in Game of Thrones. So there was a lot to put in here. I mostly just did the ones that like come out to be in my mind the fastest and like the things that really stuck with me the most, you know. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to look up anything because I feel like if I have to research some of the best moments, those really aren't the best moments, because the best moments stick with you. And then don't forget that we do have some other listings coming out for Saturday and Sunday as well. Some of the things all on the rest of these lists might tie into other things that I've already talked about, but if you've missed those lists, then you're gonna get some of the same flavor here and get some of the same cool things there. But of course, guys, I had to give some shout outs to Adam from Almost Sideways. He's also joining the top 5 list for the week. David Gerlich, Matthew Arnhall, and of course LC Screen Talk. Like I already mentioned, you guys gotta go follow them, go subscribe to them, go like their videos, and go enjoy the fuck out of them. But other than that, guys, let's get into the ranking list. And at number 5 is probably gonna be one of the best. This is probably one of the best shocking moments for me, and I mean in general. This moment for me was outstanding, and I found this to be one of my favorite moments just for the fact of I've been calling it for seasons that the Hound actually did not die. And obviously, if you're caught up, he didn't die, and I called that for so many damn seasons, and to see that he was actually alive the whole time made me so fucking excited. Because once you see his return, once we saw that whole green landscape and people building, I said, this is when the Hound's coming back. This is when the Hound's coming back. Because I always believe in that if you never see a character die, they're most likely still alive. And Game of Thrones and Walking Dead are kind of the two things that I've always seen with that. But for sure, the Hound returned and he is well enough alive. And I was glad to see that. And I'm cool to see what they will be doing with this character, because I think if you bring back a character in Game of Thrones, there's a certain reason to keep him alive, and they must have a big reason for him. Maybe the Clegane Bowl, when him and the Mountain are supposed to superficially fight, and that's a big theory, and I really do think it's going to happen. Maybe this episode for the season finale. We will find out soon, but that was one of the most shocking moments for me, was seeing the Hound return. Coming in at number 4 is something that just happened this season, and that is the Ice Dragon. You know, the Night King. First, it's very shocking that he took down a dragon with one hit, which was insane to see, but then, well, I guess it's a little shocking that they had some big-ass chains to drag the dragon out, but once they got the dragon out, he comes up, touches it, and turns into an ice dragon, which I'm assuming would be an ice dragon since, you know, White Walkers, frozen, all that kind of stuff. But it's cool to see that happen, and it's a devastating loss for our heroes, but it's devastating gain to the villain, and that was one of my favorite moments, just seeing that happen, and I'm really excited to see what they do next with this. Coming in number 3 is a shocking moment, which I'm sure this will probably be up on a lot of other people's lists as number 1, but it was the Red Wedding. I was a little spoiled on the Red Wedding. I heard that it was coming up. I knew what season it was in because I was a little behind on this show, and I gotta say, even though what still happened, the imagery and the graphicness for that season was still one of the most graphic scenes I think Game of Thrones has had to date, with the stabbing of the pregnant lady and killing off a majority of the main characters. I mean, now we look back and they're not like main characters to us anymore, because now we have like, they've kind of filtered out who the actual main characters are. And for me, the Red Wedding was very a definitive moment in Game of Thrones that I think is the main moment that everyone locks into Game of Thrones and knows that this show is not fucking around. And this is the main show, and this is the reason that people really fall in love with the shows, because of moments like that. Number 2, it was a very shocking moment for me. It might be one of my favorite moments as well, and that's a Battle of the Bastards. That whole sequence, I was shocked by how beautifully filmed it was, by how intense it was, and how just gritty it was. And I mean, the intensity of seeing how Ramsay goes out at the end with the Hounds, and the intensity of seeing the Vale come in to save Jon Snow's ass was all incredible. And I mean, Battle of the Bastards, it literally never gave you time to breathe, because it was one of the most fast-paced, gritty scenes I've ever seen, when the horses are riding right towards Jon Snow and then all the horses just start hitting each other. It was just so visually appealing but so visually graphic that it was kind of hard to watch at the same time. Battle of the Bastards leaves to be one of the most shocking moments for me in Game of Thrones history of just how purely great that battle is, and how purely great it was filmed, and how great it was to see Ramsay get eaten alive by the Hounds. And at number 1, this was probably the most shocking moment. It's from the first season, and that is Ned Stark dying. They built it up to be Sean Bean's character, supposed to be alive, to be this main character, building him up, and he dies in the first season. That was the main thing that really locked me into the Game of Thrones and said, you know what, I gotta watch this show full on through. And it was the main moment that I said, this is the reason I get why people really love this show, because it was so insane for them to kill off the main character. You don't see that a lot in shows. It's very rare when they kill off the main character, or what the character that they built up to be the main character that is opposed to. But I mean, Ned Stark dying was it was a shock and awe moment, especially when you start seeing everyone's reactions. Arya, Sansa's, and just how the Lannisters really, if you really look at it, the Lannisters were really big villains for it. This is why I hated Cersei and Jaime so much. I actually do enjoy Jaime now. Cersei, I love to hate her, but Tyrion I love as well, but it's just very weird to see where every character has gone ever since this event, because this main event really solidified a lot of people's stories and what to make them what they were today. Guys, that's my list. This is my top 5 for the most shocking moments. What is your guys' top 5 shocking moments? Please comment down below and let me know, and let's talk about that. And of course, guys, thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, and all that. I really appreciate all your guys' love and support. We're moving up in this whole subscription game, and we're moving up, increasing the family and the love for this channel. And I just love talking to you guys. That is the main purpose for me doing all these. I love talking to movie lovers and people who don't really know a lot about movies, who want to know more about movies. But other than that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, you want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new. And as always, make sure to go check out those other people's videos as well, and have a great rest of your guys' day.